Western Australia. Western Australia is, according to Augusto Zimmerman and others, on the verge of becoming a police state. Rosie Cornell is a lawyer who has been bravely speaking out about this new bill called the Emergency Management Act, which gives the WA Police Commissioner the most extraordinary powers to enforce emergency COVID measures without any ministerial oversight. I thought the pandemic was over, but not in WA. Rosie joins me now. Rosie, great to see you. You're a very brave woman. You're a lawyer who's speaking up against what you see as basically an encroaching police state situation in WA. Talk us through what is in this Emergency Powers Act.
The Emergency Powers Act is this really problematic thing because the amendment actually talks about giving a COVID-19 officer, who will be a police officer, extraordinary powers to break into and enter any place. So you won't be able to keep them out of your home. With these powers, they will be able to administer any medical treatment, and it's not clear in the bill whether they will be doing this themselves or whether they have to have a medical practitioner with them. The way that the bill is worded, it just says that the COVID-19 officer can do that. So there's a great big red flag there for a start. And one of the most concerning things is Section 77M, which literally gives them the right to take control of or use any place, vehicle or thing, which to me, applying some very basic legal interpretation, and that's pretty broad. They can do whatever they like, and it looks like they're getting rid of our property rights. So, it doesn't really explain much. And it also, at their discretion, they can take you off.
And also, Rosie, these quarantine arrangements, they can quarantine you indefinitely, apparently, where you'd have to pay for your accommodation. Now, we'll talk about that in a second, but here's where I'm really confused. In the rest of Australia, more or less, the pandemic is over.
When, as you say, the pandemic is essentially over. Pandemics we've been told, they last for 3 years, and we are at the end of this pandemic. And even Western Australia has come out and said you do not have to isolate anymore if you have COVID-19. So why does the government suddenly need to have these extraordinary powers?
And just to be clear, Rosie, so people in the rest of Australia can understand it really simply, these emergency powers were brought in for COVID. It's taken those powers, handed them to the police commissioner with no oversight. There's no pandemic, there's no oversight, and yet the police commissioner now can run around confiscating people's private property, breaking and entering into their home or seizing their vehicle without a warrant and carting you off to a quarantine camp. This is straight out of some, nightmare dystopian film. And explain to me, Rosie, because I'm obviously pretty stupid, explain to me what is the connection between confiscating someone's vehicle or breaking into their home and a virus?